We're on.
Doing it live.
Are we now?
Yeah, sure.
We're live on the air.
On the internet, yes.
Ugh, blurp.
Imagine that.
I refuse.
Hello and welcome to episode 607 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, June 26th, 2018. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from Canada, Mr. Greg Stewart.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. And
All right.
joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Hi, my name is Phil.
Great state.
It's a pretty great state.
Washington's a pretty great state.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
asking. I don't know.
I've been here a year, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Has it been a year now? Has it been a full
has.
year?
It has. Actually, it's been over a year at this point that I've been here.
No, it
Really? Right?
does not
Because
sound
you
right to me.
ended the school year or whatever last time, and then you moved.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's been a year.
And I believe Tuesday is my 1 year work anniversary. So
That's pretty nice.
So there we go. Then I believe that is when they distribute a real Pokemon to me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I get the real genetically engineered
I
Pikachu.
think. It's Pikachu, is it?
Well, yeah,
First
of course.
year's-
I mean,
first year's Pikachu?
yeah.
You're not getting a
That's-
Mewtwo or anything like that.
Oh, you kidding? That's like your 25th year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Has Pokemon been around for 25 years?
No.
Okay.
It has
No.
not. It has
Checking.
not. Nope.
20 years, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been 20. It's been 20. Give it.
Give it
You know what? I'm
3
gonna go out on
more
a
years.
limb. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that it'll probably be around for another 5.
You think?
Probably.
My guess.
At least.
You think?
It's my guess. It's my
Yeah.
guess.
They're going to retire the series.
We're going out on top.
We
wanna get-
decided we're not going to make any more. How
Uh.
ridiculous an announcement would that be, huh?
It would be amazing.
To be fair, that's kind of what Capcom did with Mega Man.
Did not see that coming.
Did they announce it, though?
I don't know how they just let that
I'm not
slowly.
I can't go with you on that. They oversaturated Mega Man big
Yeah,
time
they-
before they finally let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now
You know.
Mega Man's back in 11 form, and it looks really good.
Or it could
Does
be
it?
like a.
I don't know. I definitely have mixed feelings about how Mega Man 11 looks.
Oh,
I'm more
people
up.
have played it now. We have
Yeah.
impressions.
Yeah.
People seem to like it.
Yeah. No, people are. I'm hearing good things about it. I think it looks nice.
Yeah,
I
it does look
am,
nice.
I am more optimistic than cautious about that one.
Okay.
Which is more than I can say about Crackdown. So-
Mm.
Well, we don't really know that much about Crackdown.
Well, that's
in general.
kind of the problem, isn't it? Kind of been the problem for the past 3 or 4 years.
Oh,
That's kind of
a
been the
shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame. They're still working on it, though.
Yeah, well, that's it's kind of been the situation for the past 3 or 4 years.
I suppose. I
Yeah.
suppose you're right.
Yeah.
Hey, video game news. Let me tell you, the week after E3.
Breaking video game news.
When news
There's-
breaks, we fix it.
There's not much happening the week after E3.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
weekend
looking-
review is usually pretty dead.
I'm looking at our outline for this week's show, and you have a whopping singular topic to talk
Singular
about.
story here.
And let's face it, it's not one that's going to carry the whole show.
No, I think that's safe to say.
Let's dive right
Yeah.
in.
Well, okay, we'll dive in then. Bethesda has sued Warner Brothers over the mobile version of Westworld because it is extremely similar to Fallout Shelter, and apparently
Apparently
it even includes a bug that was in an earlier version of Fallout Shelter. Yeah.
So
Wow.
when you say extremely similar,
I mean, it's the same game.
that's a very gracious way of saying they stole the code
That
from
it's the same
Fallout
game.
Shelter.
Yeah.
That is ballsy.
And by the same game, you mean literally down to the actual coding, it is the same game.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, we made a game that's very similar to. It's
Because
right.
honestly, yeah, like a similar game, I don't know, kind of hard to do anything about. Because I mean,
This is
especially since the mobile market took over, that's very common.
well, I mean, wasn't the whole
Mhm.
the fighter's history
Yes.
when Capcom tried to
Was it
sue
Data East and
Data
Capcom?
East over Fighter's history because it was very similar to Street Fighter 2. And
Right.
you had the whole thing with Sega suing Who's It's about that Simpsons Crazy Taxi game.
Well, that was over patents, but yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these things sort of started over patents, and some of them worked. Like, I mean, or some of them got pizzade. Like,
Right.
I know that Atari had a patent over replays, real-time replays. in
Oh,
the
really?
games, based on their hard driving code, because that was kind of the big thing that they
really?
replays, and they patented it.
Oh, I did not know that.
So
Did you talk about this?
I didn't know that either until I covered it in Generation 16. So
Okay, so I did know it. I did hear this before. I just forgot that.
but yeah, like
detail.
there's a lot of different game elements are patented when they're made, and Sega patented the whole arrow that shows you the direction you should be
Right.
going, which they used in Simpsons. And I think they probably lost that lawsuit, but I'll bet you if anyone else used something like that beforehand, they were paying Sega. You know, I mean, a lot of people were paying. I think Midway ended up with the patents from Atari, and a lot of people were paying Midway for using real-time replays in their games.
Okay.
So
Didn't Namco have a patent on including a playable mini game during loading sequences?
during loading screen. Yep.
Yeah.
Because
they
that's
did.
something that I remember they were doing that, and I think a few of us in the press kept telling, back on PlayStation 1 days especially, it's like, well, those long load times, why don't you do something like
Right.
Namco did this great thing where you play like Galaxian or something while you're Galaga while you're waiting, and you get answers like, well, yeah, and now you can't.
We'd love to.
We can't. Yeah, we'd like to, but we can't.
These load times are so long. Why don't you guys just infrate on some patents?
Yeah.
Just infringe. Do it. This is a little bit different though, the Fallout Shelter thing, because Behavior Interactive co-developed Fallout Shelter
Right.
as well.
So I mean, they're
also developed the Westworld game.
so they're just reusing old code.
Which again
code,
is
yeah.
not that uncommon,
Right.
especially in the mobile world.
That's
But
probably true, but when
But
you're
yeah, that's
dealing with
bad.
popular licenses like
Yeah, that's
Fallout and Westworld,
Yeah.
probably not a good idea to do that
Yeah.
so closely. Yeah.
Good old A2M.
Hmm?
That
Pardon?
Oh,
was
that's right.
Behavior
That's what they're
Interactive's
called.
original name.
Wait, what?
What was
A2M.
Oh yeah. That's right. That was their old. That was their old, ill-advised name.
I forget
when
what
they
it stood for. I mean, I know what we all know it stands for, but
Well, and you remember STD Entertainment, makers
Yeah.
of fine joysticks.
Yeah, they made
Yeah.
peripherals and stuff.
artificial mind and movement. Thank you, Channing King.
Artificial mind and movement.
Which, yes, I remember being told. I didn't see this, but I remember being told by people who were there that when they went from being called Artificial Mind and Movement
yeah.
and rebranded themselves as A2M, they got as far as like having a big to do about it, and T-shirts and everything else.
Oh no.
Before somebody
last-
before
last
somebody in
thing you
charge
want-
they finally clued in as to what A2M meant.
The last thing you want when you're having A2M is a big do.
Yeah,
That
pretty
is the
funny.
last thing.
And then they became Behavior Interactive.
CJ liked that one. CJ's why? CJ's falling out of his chair. He liked
CJ's a big Clerks 2 fan.
he liked the big do.
Yeah, that's a big do.
You want a big oh
Well, you would think someone would Google it, right?
Oh,
Well, no, you got to
yeah.
remember too. I mean, and this
Turn
might
safe
not
search
necessarily be
off.
the reason, but Behavior is from Quebec,
Sure.
okay.
so primarily French speaking region. Maybe that didn't translate so much, like I think
Maybe
they're
it's a
from Quebec
different
anyway.
acronym.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that happened.
Yes, it did.
And that's all
so.
the news.
And that's our show for this week. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. So, hey, Phil, should we talk about the hottest topic on Resetera?
You've
Love
been
Hot Topic.
you've been dying for this.
You love Resetera. You
We
can't
are-
get
we
enough of
going-
video
we're
games.
going- We're
To
going
be-
to Hot
I
Topic.
have not gone there in forever. Hot Topic
No?
or Resetera.
Hot Topic is the place to go if you want it used to be the place
manga t-shirts.
used to be the place to go if you wanted your nice colored Dragon Ball Z shirts with the flames all over
See,
them.
up here it was called the It
Oh.
Store.
The It Store.
Yeah, it was actually a
That's
place
weird.
called the It Store.
That's odd.
because we didn't have Hot Topic.
Was it actually a Hot Topic in Canada? Was the It Store, or was it
It
a
was the
completely
same
different
company,
store?
but it was the same kind of store.
Okay. But now it's like all Funko Pops and like
Yeah.
Doctor Who merchandise.
Well, they still have anime stuff in there.
Okay, yeah, you can guess like what do they got? Like,
Oh, apparently the It Store is still around. But anyway,
oh
Still
yeah,
Dragon Ball stuff.
okay,
Years later,
okay, maybe some One Piece tossed in there.
probably.
Some Attack on Titan, probably.
Oh, most definitely. Yes,
yeah.
you know it.
So so why are we talking? We're all going to Hot Topic.
No, we should talk Resetera because there was a topic here that simply says, "Who was Sushi X?"
Yes.
And
Who
goes
was?
on to say, was it Mark McDonald, Dan Shu,
No.
John Riccardi,
No.
Che Chow, Scary Larry, Ed Semrad?
maybe.
I love. Okay, here's what cracks me up about that particular thread. That particular
yes.
thread is like 25% EGM nostalgia.
Yep.
It's like 25% people getting pissy because we didn't have EGM everywhere in the world, so how dare you make a topic
right.
asking
Right.
asking who Sushi X is, because you know
We don't know.
we
didn't
how
get
would,
that
how,
magazine.
how would
This is
I know?
why- This is why I don't go to message boards anymore.
I live in England, so there's no way I would know. So you should not have made this very insensitive thread.
Really, there were really people getting irritated about that.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, there
Were.
definitely were.
Ah.
It was.
And
It
then
was-
what's
it was
the
about-
rest? What's the
It
rest
was about 25% people saying, I thought it was either Che or Dan Shu because
Yep.
you know, because racism.
Because they're Asian, sure, yeah.
And
Solid reasoning.
the other 25% was people going, oh, I'm pretty sure I heard the giant bomb guys saying that it was X. So
Jeff Gersman said that everybody took a turn.
yeah, Jeff
That was
Goldman. Jeff Goldman. I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say Jeff. I was slipping into Jeff.
Did you go watch
Gold
Jurassic
Club.
World yesterday, Phil?
No, I haven't. Actually, I have
I
not
did.
seen that.
did.
Was it terrible?
No, I enjoyed it.
Oh,
It was
really?
better than the last one, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was starting off saying Jeff Goldblum, and then decided to correct myself halfway through.
Goldman.
Jeff Goldman.
That's his real name.
No, Jeff Gersman was. Yeah, Jeff Gersman knows. And then like CJ and I kind of pop into the thread, and we
Like, I'll tell you exactly
push
what it
we
is.
push our glasses up on our nose and do the old well actually, and then everyone proceeds to ignore us because
And
Because you're
only,
not Jeff
only
Goldblum.
replied to the original poster by saying
yeah
one of the other 25% of the things that Phil mentioned.
yeah
Yeah.
so that's what that thread was, and it was
So
really ridiculous.
Really, what this whole conversation has taught me is I am right in staying away from etc. for as long as I have. I can't remember the last time I posted there.
Yeah.
It's become gaff, right? It's become old gaff.
Well, that's all it was ever going to become. So
Yeah.
you know,
for
I mean,
most-
good. You know, that was Gaff was useful for things, and
Sure, and this is useful for things too. We still have our official Player One thread
do we? Cool.
Well,
there,
yeah.
and I go into official threads for specific games that I'm playing all the time.
Big Sea of Thieves contributor there, are you?
I don't know what you're talking about. Of
But
course,
CJ,
yeah,
I know we've talked about this on the show
yeah.
several times.
Sea of Thieves.
Well,
No, the
yes. Dear Lord, yes.
Let you in a little secret. I don't know if this was covered in the
Yeah.
Resetera thread,
What's
but
but by the time I was there, which was the 2000 era,
Yeah.
Sushi X was a stand-in when only 2 people wrote a review instead of 3.
I thought we weren't using Sushi X when you.
I think he came back
Came
once or
in.
twice.
Oh, really?
I don't know about
Oh,
that.
I'm
Well,
pretty sure.
maybe.
What do you
So-
know, Johnston?
I don't know anything.
Who is Sushi X, CJ?
Who is Sushi X?
Give,
Well,
us, give us a truncated history of Sushi X.
Ken Williams.
Well, no, who was originally Sushi X?
I don't know who was originally Sushi X.
Wasn't it? Was it?
Was
Was,
Ken Williams?
Goldman?
wasn't it? Wasn't like David? Was it Siller? Or something like that?
Oh, was David Siller Sushi X?
I maybe
you might
I'm
be right.
No,
I might-
better known as the guy who made Maximo and Arrow the Acrobat.
yeah.
You might be right on that.
I think David Siller was the original Sushi X. I think he came up with the character
Yes, although to be fair, Famitsu had
And by
character.
and by
Yeah.
coming up with the character,
The way
I
the way
mean-
EGM came up with everything.
yeah, stealing it from Famitsu.
Famitsu had Taco X.
Yeah, EGM came up with the character of
That's
Sushi
more
X
racist.
the way that the way that Behavior programmed the Westworld game.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure David Stiller was the original Sushi X.
You might be right. Yeah,
And
most
then-
people though the
Yeah, the Sushi X everyone knows.
portrayal that people remember from EGM days was Ken Williams.
Yeah, he was the one who sort of solidified the fighting game fanatic.
Because Ken Williams was a fighting game guy,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah,
was a
totally.
Street Fighter
guy.
Love Street
Yeah.
Fighter 2.
Yeah.
He hated Game Boy.
Yep.
So he sort of fostered that element of
Mhm.
Sushi X's personality. Ken Williams was the one who came up with the infamous Shenlong April Fool's prank.
Yep.
Still the greatest ever.
It is a great one.
Yeah, so Ken was kind of the old school Sushi X that everyone remembers. But then Ken left, and
Yeah.
was that when it kind of turned into sort of a rotating chair?
No, I don't think so. I think Scott Paris did that for
Okay, so it was Scott Paris.
a while.
Yeah, Scott. He was like a mid '90s EGM era dude.
Yep.
I have no idea what he's doing these days.
Me neither.
Yeah, I
Me neither.
have
Lost
not
touch with
seen
him.
or heard from him since like probably '97 or '98.
Yeah.
But yeah, then it sort of turned into the cycling, right?
Yes.
Where various people,
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Did Sushi X or became Sushi X. Like
I
I wrote a couple before I was on the review crew. I wrote some Sushi X reviews because I was the news editor at the office and I was there. So
Yeah, it was a way to
why
get
not?
other people who weren't actually on the review crew to
On the-
contribute,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
like
I
so
wrote
definitely
a
introduce somebody new. We kind of did away with that after a while, anyway.
yeah, I wrote a couple. I think the Sushi X reviews that I wrote only ended up on Nuke,
Mhm.
which was
Okay.
EGM's
I remember
first
that.
attempt.
Wow,
was
that's
that
a
their
deep
first
cut.
attempt at the website?
Yes. Nuke was
That
the
was-
first attempt.
That predates what gamers.
No, videogames.com.
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 Still the greatest URL ever.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, because EGM owned the URL videogames.com before
That's
the
crazy.
GameSpot stuff.
That is crazy.
So yeah.
I also wrote there was an article in some mid late 90s issue of EGM. It was like a fighting game roundup,
Oh yeah,
And-
I think I recall
and-
this.
and I wrote it as Sushi X,
Yeah.
and I'm hesitant to say the name of the article.
Lest
Now I
people
wanna know.
find it and read it.
Nope. Now you have to.
Well, no, it's not even that I'm embarrassed about the writing. It's I'm embarrassed about the name of the article,
Oh no. What's the name?
which
Now you have to say it. You have to say it.
which again, let me set the stage. This was probably like 1997. This was probably like 1997. We're looking at like 20
got
years
something-
ago.
Give us the racist name. Come on.
Oh, it's not racist.
Okay.
Oh, something
Not
with
racist.
fists, right?
No, it's not even that.
Something
It's
like,
like-
pound.
And we're
Something
a
about
bunch.
pounding.
You know, the magazine is run by a bunch of dudes who are like
Oh, this is gonna
21,
be so sexist.
22,
Oh.
and
Oh.
you know the guy in charge. You know, there was like an
You know what?
80-year-old.
I don't
guy
care
in
anymore.
charge.
This story's been
Read the
too
mag-
long.
Yeah, just say the word. Say
Yeah.
it.
It was
Say it.
Sushi X's Guide to Domestic Violence,
Wow.
Oh.
which
Wow, you are a bad person.
oh
You know what?
I
You are a
thank
bad
you very much. Did not come up with that name.
Prove it.
Let me get the
Let's see
paperwork.
the receipts.
I just
Come
happened. Lucky for me, I was printing out every email because I didn't actually have a computer at the office back in those days. So I had to print out all my emails
Should've
if I
kept
wanted to
your-
read them.
Should have kept your optical drives.
I believe it. I believe
No,
it.
I did not come up with that name. That was a name by committee. You know,
Yeah.
and everyone thought it was hilarious.
It's pretty clever.
Yeah. So if yeah.
Mm.
So my
Something with
now,
fists or pounding would have been better.
to be fair, the
Yeah.
writing in the article is probably atrocious. If anyone digs it up, it is
mhm.
probably terribly written.
Yeah.
I kind of assumed that.
But the writing is not as bad as the name. of the article. So there you go.
Yeah. But everybody who wrote sort of under the Sushi X moniker, even when you were reviewing a game, kind of looked at it through the character lens.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. You were not. You were doing your own. You were doing your own thing. But yeah, maybe, if Phil is reviewing a fighting game, Phil may not be super hardcore into fighting games. I may just enjoy them kind of casually, but
you wrote as though you're hardcore fighting.
But I have to pretend that I am,
and you hate Game Boy.
Yeah, which is ridiculous because I love Game Boy. I love the old Game Boy. So
Game Boy is great.
I agree.
So in that thread, by the way, they have they talk about Quarterman as well.
Yes,
another EGM pseudonym.
It's the rumor guy,
father to Secret Turtle.
Let's not talk about that.
If we have to talk about Sushi X's guide to domestic violence,
we have to talk about Secret Turtle.
Talk about Turtle. My goodness.
Do we need to talk about that? You want me to talk about
it? I don't. That was CJ's self-afflicted not nickname, but pseudonym that he gave himself
for EGM2.
So EGM2 was starting. EGM2 was starting up when I started, actually, the summer of 94. And they wanted to do a rumor column in the EGM2, but have it done with a different person.
Right.
Not Quarterman.
Right.
Because they wanted to give EGM2 its own voice, even though it was called EGM2. I don't understand. And even though the page was very similar to those old Quartermans, where it was just a wall of text, not a single image on there.
Yeah.
So
I gotta say, I loved Quarterman. I looked forward to that every single month.
Me too. Me too. I read. Before I worked there, I was an EGM reader. Huge fan. Read all those phone book sized issues cover to cover. Even read previews of games I was not interested in at all. But anyway, so they were starting EGM2 right when I got hired. They wanted someone to be the rumor person. I wrote Q-Man in one of the issues. It was like issue 61 was my first issue, and then EGM2 came right after. And so I wrote that Quarterman column, and then the next month I had to come up with a pseudonym for the rumor guy in EGM2, and I'm like, I don't know, Secret Turtle, because I liked Secret Squirrel, like the Hanna-Barbera
old Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Such a nerd.
So I thought, hey, all right, Secret Turtle, because that's sort of Mario Kart-ish, Koopa Troopa, Turtles, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so it was printed out on the printer at the office once. Unfortunately, I didn't go over to the printer to pick up the page before I left for the day. Other people did.
And someone saw it and started making a review about it.
And then my nickname at EGM from 94 till...
Well, I mean, I was going to ask, so how long did EGM2 last? It lasted like 4 years? When did it became Expert Gamer? But when did it become Expert Gamer? It was like 1998, 1999, somewhere in there?
Probably something like that, yeah.
So the only reason I'm bringing it up is because when I joined EGM, which was in 2000, they were still calling CJ Secret Turtle.
Oh, yeah.
Like 6 or 7 years later.
I couldn't get rid of that nickname. I tried.
Especially like Riccardi and Dan Shu and
right.
Yeah.
Because initially it was, so when I started at EGM, I was hired by Steve Harris. Ed Semrad was on vacation when I got hired. He didn't like the fact that I got hired. And everybody else in the office also didn't like me.
Yeah.
Wow. So that didn't change by the time I joined either.
I guess not. No. So, and I was 17. I was the youngest in the office too.
Yeah.
They gave me a lot of shit.
6 years.
But anyway,
still were.
Even though all of them were hired when they were 16, 17 too. Didn't matter. Anyway, so it was sort of like a mean-spirited nickname. And I changed the name of the rumor column. It became Expert, like expert, not Qbert. Expert. You got that?
He's like Qbert, but an expert.
Do you inadvertently create the name Expert Gamer then?
No.
I think you might have.
But you could credit me with that, sure.
I just did.
Yeah. So that's the story of Secret Turtle, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any old EGM people, anyone who worked with me in that office or Oakbrook calls me Turtle, Secret Turtle, whatever, what have you.
Yeah.
The newer era of EGM, I'm just CJ. So.
There was that. I remember you really fought because for a while there, because yeah, it was secret. Everyone was calling you Secret Turtle, and then everyone was like, some people were just calling you Turtle, and then some people started calling you Secret Turtle Dude.
I don't remember that.
And then they started shortening that.
Oh, to STD.
Long,
long joke, Phil. You got to get to it faster.
Nope.
What would faster. Say? That was a long road to a small house. Was it?
It was there was a humor mirage, as some might say. As we're wandering through the desert.
Yeah. Anyway,
y'all need to listen to Matt Mattingly's Ice Cream Social.
Yeah.
But EGM retired Sushi X. And then when Expert Gamer,
I swear he came back.
He did. Came back an Expert Gamer.
No, but I swear he came back at least once in EGM. But anyway.
But yeah, when Expert Gamer was reborn as Game Now.
Game
Now.
Okay.
Well, Game like 20 years ago. Well, about 15 years ago. But when we had the big shift at Game Now, Game Now is kind of broken up into its, it lasted about 2 years. The first year was in Oakbrook, outside Chicago. The second year was when we moved to San Francisco, and Ethan and I were the only ones who made the move. So we ended up with a new AIC, a new managing editor, new art directors. So we completely rebuilt the magazine from the ground up. And one of our ideas during the big redesign was, hey, let's bring Sushi X over to our magazine, because the magazine was meant for younger readers, so we thought it'd be kind of fun to have the little character there. And then during the Game Now period, Sushi X was written exclusively by Miguel Lopez, who Miguel, he was at Glixel recently.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Miguel is outstanding, and honestly, he's my favorite incarnation of Sushi X, because he really kind of played into the ninja character, and he's a really good writer anyway.
Totally.
But
but as talking about more pseudonyms and whatnot, somebody quoted Quarterman copy where Quarterman mentions Postmaster, then talks about getting off the phone with Sushi X. Yes, the real Sushi X, and blah blah blah. Anyway, I think that came down to Game Fan, of course, had the Postmeister character,
right?
And I'm sure this is referring to. In fact, I think I remember it.
Yeah,
I read both Game Fan and EGM pretty religiously back then, and the Postmeister called out EGM for having characters and different people like playing characters, which I find hilarious.
Amazing, because didn't the person who was writing Quarterman used to get a lot of his information from Dave Halverson?
Well, first of all, yes, that is the way I heard it. Basically, yeah, Dave Halverson, the guy who ran Die Hard, Game Fan, and the store, used to talk with Steve Harris, who wrote Quarterman, and gave him a lot of those rumors.
That's hilarious. And then they were slamming on him in Game Fan magazine, but then they were slamming on them for having a fake character,
right?
That's awesome. which is the entirety of Die Hard Game Fan's premise. It was like,
oh yeah, I mean, Game Fan's reviewers, Dave Halverson was like 2 or 3 of the people.
Yeah, I mean, he was East Storm, he was Skids, and he was probably one other person.
Probably, yeah.
And there were, as we have discovered in our after shows and our Patreon supported after shows,
yes,
where we go through some old magazines, there were occasions where Dave Halverson would write multiple reviews of the same game, as E-Storm and Skids.
Yes.
But
that's right.
I'm gonna go back again and say that did happen in EGM once in a while. Not very frequently.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
But it did happen.
Yeah.
But not being two different people, passing it off as I don't know. It's different. It's different.
Wait, it would happen in EGM where like one person would write 2 reviews?
Yep.
Real? I did not know that.
Yep.
Huh. When did that do you remember a specific game?
I do. I can't remember the name of it. It was like an RTS Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
And whoever there was, I forget who the reviewers were, but one of them did not have a chance to play the game. So one of the other, I think the person who wrote the large review actually wrote the small review as one of the small reviews as well.
And
we
slapped
put someone else's name on it.
Okay, so not even like a pseudonym.
No. Like, it was it was credited to another editor.
Okay, it's not like.
But it wasn't like my name is Dan Shu and I'm also John Dudlack. And
No.
That's what we're talking about.
I know that, but I'm just saying it's like it's.
But this is equally as bad
because
sure.
I mean, and because
if not actually worse, because you're assigning an actual person's name to this review you didn't write.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This should be like
it was something that you kind of had to look at. Like, I mean, EGM and and Game Fan both had the same problem, which was it wasn't really realistic to properly play that many games, especially when you get into like the October through December time frame.
We reviewed 40 games this issue.
What did we say? I think this was on our last after show actually, where one of the questions was how many games did CJ, Phil, and Greg review in this?
Oh, right.
And Phil only reviewed one of those, and then between us, there were like 17 or 18 games.
Yeah.
Which is why I always took issue with the whole. Right. I don't agree with it anyway, but I took issue with the whole. Well, how can you review something if you didn't finish it? Give me a break.
And before anyone starts thinking that I was being lazy by only reviewing one game in an issue when CJ and Greg were reviewing like 17, I did not even work on that magazine.
That's right.
At the time, that was an EGM thing. I was on Game Now.
It was probably because you were reviewing the game for Game Now.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we did that a lot as well, where it's okay, so like Gary Steinman's reviewing this for OPM. Well, then he's one of the small reviewers, or maybe he's the big reviewer, but he will be on the review.
Exactly.
Zuniga and Phil and Ethan and like a lot of people pull double duty for that stuff.
Yeah, because let me tell you,
games coming.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of games coming out now. I look at sites like IGN and GameSpot and wonder how they can even. I mean, they don't review every game, but if they were like EGM was back in the day, it would just be crazy. Couldn't do it.
You don't want to pull double duty when you're doing the 8 AM either.
Yeah.
That's you get it.
I get it. It's good.
It sounds like poop.
Not as funny the second time around.
No, not at all.
Well, that's the
joke.
That's how it is when you do an 8 AM. Maybe funny the first time, but that second time, someone's gonna get upset.
I would argue it's not funny the first time.
Depends on your point of view.
It's not from any sort of experience. I'm just, saying. It seems like it wouldn't be funny the first time.
My parents told me.
Yeah.
That's.
It's like the birds and the bees talk was just horrible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I did want to call out, by the way. Somebody in that thread mentioned Andy Barron, and I mentioned that we did a podcast all about Andy Barron.
Yes,
that was episode 145, by the way, a long time ago.
They were
nearly. God, it was 145.
Nearly 10 years.
Wow. Yeah. Andy Barron, of course, for those who might be newer listeners, Andy Barron was a very colorful character.
Cyberboy
Andy Barron worked with us during the very early days of EGM.
Yeah.
And he very tragically died.
Cancer or something.
Yeah.
At the age of 35.
Years back. Yeah. Very young. Very young. But we did a tribute show to him. We had a whole 2-hour show where we reached out to a bunch of Ziff Davis employees.
Yep.
Who knew him and worked alongside him, and they shared all sorts of wonderful and often hilarious and occasionally touching stories about working with this guy who, let's be honest, was a little weird.
Yep.
It was a little weird, but
I think we said it during the episode. He was like Dwight on The Office, like
Yeah, he was.
completely annoying and inscrutable. Yet,
but that's
So-
that's why you enjoyed having him around.
So that was the cool thing this week, where a friend of the show, Chris Baker, was at Too Many Games, which is a show. I forget where it is exactly.
Right.
It's called
like
Too Many Games.
It's like a retro game show or something.
Retro game show, and there was somebody there. I don't know if it was a vendor or what. Had this great New Kids on the Block
Right.
NES box mock-up. So that game never came out, but it was from a CES way back in the day.
Yeah.
It was a full color, full mock-up of a New Kids on the Block game box, and that box came from Andy Barron's desk. He had that on his desk.
He had it.
Was that the actual box
It was
from
the
Andy's
actual
desk?
box. They sorted out that
Wow.
yes, it was the actual box.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I mean, I assume, again, that was years ago, and I remember Andy had my understanding is he had an extensive collection of games and memorabilia, probably, and I know that his wife was getting rid of it all, basically.
Mhm.
And so I'm sure that's how it sort of got into the system. But yeah, Chris Baker saw it and was talking to the person who had it there, and
Took a
and they
picture of it.
and they sorted out that it was the box from Andy's desk, which I
That's-
vividly remember that thing sitting
Oh
there.
yeah. Well, he had it. I think he had it kind of tacked up to the wall of his cube or something.
Yep.
Yes, he did.
Even
Yeah.
in '94 when I started, it was there.
Yeah.
It's cube wall.
Yeah. And now it's all like they have it like sealed and graded or something. It's got one of those whatever that service is that seals your collection in plastic and gives it like a grade or something. So
Huh.
there it is. That's crazy. But that's pretty awesome.
It's great.
Andy's
It's
old
great
cube
that that's
decor.
living on, and it's great that the person who has it now knows that story, because it's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's important. I mean, Andy was, he was an interesting guy for sure, but he was there, man, and he was part of the group of people that were pioneering that magazine, and it was a super important magazine to the games industry in North America. So,
Yep.
Yeah. The other funny thing about that thread is that a lot of people saying, "Oh man, I want to go back and read that again. I used to get all my information from it." And also, as you know from our after shows, as we have read some of the material from old EGMs and old game fans, you're looking at it through rose-tinted glasses. Like you're remembering it very fondly. When you actually go back and read it, it's fairly bad.
yeah, okay, there's some moments like that for sure. I don't know. There's still I because as part of research for Generation 16, I've actually sifted through EGMs. I haven't read them cover to cover, but sifted through a lot of them just to get a general idea, especially when American games came out, or because there's not a good record of that.
Sure.
Of release dates, and I read all the Quarterman columns, and it's really interesting to read them because there's just some really cool information there that I know some of it might not be true. But
Right.
there's references to things that happen like years later. Like it's like, oh wow, that he's referring to this. Like,
Wait, you mean he predicted Street Fighter V? Can't even believe it.
little things like when he would put something in the column about, say, Codemasters wanting their games to have 4 players but not use a peripheral, so they actually were creating a cartridge that you could plug controllers into, which they actually did. They're called J carts, and they had 2 controller ports.
Yeah.
Like little things, just little things like that. It's been great for me from a research perspective, because like when I cover something like that, I can say, well, actually, like way back a year earlier, people were already talking about this as a thing, and it was in EGM and all that fun stuff. So yeah,
Right.
I mean, yeah, they might not be they're not classic American literature or anything like
No.
that. But I would also say they're not terrible. You gotta go in with your eyes open, obviously, but
But then you try to decipher what the name of the game is after I blank out the name.
Yeah.
that can be rough.
Quizzes that we do at during the after show, and that's tough. It's tough.
It can
There
be.
was that brief period in 1999 when Herman Melville was writing for EGM, though, when the quality went way up. I don't know if you guys remember.
It was one of
that
those things, though.
specifically.
Like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but when Next Generation came around,
Yeah.
It's good times.
obviously Edge
Around
in the
95.
UK had like its thing going, and then next gen, the first issue of next gen that came out, I just thought this was the new thing, right? Like a magazine that actually talked about games in a more mature way, or didn't just talk about screens and pics and the hottest
scrolls.
The hottest scrolls.
Like all that stuff. It was just a different way to read about games, and that that totally changed everything. And EGM became a much better magazine when Dan Shu and Crispin Boyer and Sean Smith and all of those guys like came on board. Oh, and Greg Seward too. Yeah. And
it's not good enough.
I don't know if you remember Intelligent Gamer.
Yep.
I do.
Brief.
That started to be a magazine, and that was a website at first, and then became a magazine, and that brought in John Riccardi and Jared Horowitz and all sorts of other.
Pete Bartholow was there for a while too, right?
People, yeah, Pete Bartholow. I wrote for Intelligent Gamer for a little bit as well, and video game magazines just changed around that time, and then they sort of also then became Maxim. Later.
Yeah, there was it almost went too far, but you're right. Like there was that moment, and it was in the late 90s where it started to happen, where it seems like, I mean, you still had sort of the young guy bro culture happening.
Yeah.
But they were starting to speak to an older audience in general.
Yeah.
But and then in the early 2000s, there was that weird moment where we crossed even further over, and suddenly we all wanted to be lad mags.
Yeah. It became like Maxim. We gotta be more like Maxim.
Yeah.
You gotta interview the hottest game girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that? There was one I think it was it Future or Imagine?
Yeah, they
put out it was just blatantly.
Yeah.
What was the name of that magazine?
Oh, I forget. I'm gonna go look it up while you guys
PC Accelerator.
Oh, PC Accelerator was no. That wasn't the same thing. PC Accelerator was legitimately funny.
Yeah.
There was a different one.
Oh yeah, there was the what was I?
Wasn't wasn't there one that was published by Larry Flint?
Yes. Well, no, that was
video games.
Tricks.
No, I mean tips and tricks, yes, but then there was a magazine that was video games plus hot girls.
Yeah, I'm finding it. Hang on a second.
Okay, yeah.
It was called like Ultimate Gamer or something.
That's right. It was something,
something terrible. But that was probably before even the Maxim Lad Mag thing happened.
There was a magazine called Girls of Gaming.
Of course there was, but that's
Insight.
not the one. Insight. Yeah, it's the one.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
That's what I was thinking of.
Didn't we
that
get
one only
someone
lasted
from
like
Insight?
4 issues, right?
Didn't we have someone at EGM who had worked on Insight?
Did we?
I don't know.
I thought we did.
Huh.
I don't remember.
I don't either. But yeah, that was the one they always had like a model on the cover or something, and
yeah, it was supposed to be it was Lad Mag for gamers,
right?
Is what it seemed like what they were trying to do.
Yeah,
and it did not last.
Right?
No,
that's what I was thinking of.
Anyway, should we get on to what we've been playing?
Sure.
Because last week we didn't talk about what we've been playing. We talked about
we had all that hot E3 news.
I know. Yeah. So, Phil, why don't you tell us about what you've been playing?
Well, you know what I've been playing? I picked up. I've been playing a lot of PC games these past couple weeks.
Really? Oh, okay.
You had Steam.
Personal computer. I picked up for the Steam the Lego Incredibles game.
Interesting. I'm curious about this one.
Wait, you didn't pick that up for Switch or?
Well, here's the thing.
Else?
Here's the thing. Let me clue you in to the magic.
What is the PC
Steam
version cheaper?
So if you want that on console, that's $60, right?
Sure.
Bones.
You want that on Steam? That's $40.
Okay. And hey, chances are,
did you get
you're going to be able to play it on Steam for longer than the Switch.
And for $2.50.
And if you there was a Newegg had a sale where you could buy the Steam download code from them for $30. So you know what? I'm gonna take that game for half price.
Sure.
Now the only thing I did not get by not buying it on console is GameStop. You know GameStop, the terrible store.
I'm familiar.
They had a promotion where if you pre-ordered the game through them for console, you got a little Lego minifigure, a little promotional Lego minifigure.
You've got enough Lego minifigs.
Well, I have
You
that.
got
one.
it anyway.
I got it. Woo, it's a little Edna Mode from The Incredibles. I eBayed that for a couple bucks.
Okay.
But yeah, so I've been playing Lego The Incredibles on personal computer. And
is it a Lego game? Does it play like a Lego game?
I mean, it is. It's a Lego game. It plays like a Lego game. But you know, it's
movies.
fun. It's both movies. I will say, it starts off with the second movie. So I actually bought the game like the day before I went to see the movie.
Oh,
I started playing it, and it starts up with like
feels like mother, father.
Here's some
like here's the ending of The Incredibles 2.
Well, I didn't play that far. I played like the intro and was like, oh, this is the actual beginning of the movie. So I stopped and picked it up after I had seen it. But once you finish like the first stage or two, it someone's got a text.
It's been going off for like 15 minutes now.
Oh, okay. It brings up an open world. You have an open world you can run around in, and you can go on and do the story path if you want, but you are free to just run around this big city. And there are missions to complete within the city. There are bricks to find, things to build. There are crime waves that will be triggered where there's a supervillain who's taken over an area of the city that you have to complete some tasks so you can fight the supervillain and free that chunk of the city.
Crackdown.
It's Lego Crackdown.
Lego Crackdown.
Finally, what we've been wanting. And one of the nice things though is they've
down.
No, we won't.
No.
They've kind of they've cut down some of the grinding in that game because the Lego games have a fair amount of grinding.
There's a lot of running around and punching everything to get all the studs you need.
Right.
And it does wear on you after a while.
Well, because you're punching everything to get all the little coins, the little studs that are the currency in the game, and then you're trying to find all the red bricks, and a lot of the red bricks are like the coin multipliers. And then you got to save up like 1 million coins to buy the first coin multiplier and stuff. But now the red bricks are free. All you have to do, you complete a mission in the overworld, in the map, and then you find one of the coin multipliers, and it's just instantly unlocked. You don't have to pay for it. So that that really speeds up the process. And it's actually kind of cute because all the there are all these the red bricks are found after you complete a certain mission. You build something that is a reference to other Pixar movies. So like cool. you end up building the house from Up, or you end up building the terrible script from Cars 2.
Ouch.
Or like the coral reef from Finding Nemo or something. And then
the butt. Do you build the butt?
The butt. But
no,
huh?
You went and touched the butt. That's how he got caught in the first place.
Oh, was that what?
I hate you.
I don't remember. But then you unlock some of the characters too, so you can play as other Pixar characters in the game as well. So that's kind of fun.
Cool.
But yeah, it's a Lego game.
So so for $30, good purchase.
For $30, I am having fun with it.
Yeah, I'll be all over that when it drops to like 20 or something.
And
it will.
It's a Lego game, so give it 6 months.
Yeah,
and you'll
exactly.
Yeah, totally. I also picked up on the Steam sale. The Steam summer sale is happening.
The Steam sale's on right now.
Did
I
know
gotta
that?
do something. I gotta go do something. Keep talking.
You didn't. The other day I got an email. One of those
Everything
automatic
that's on your wish list is on sale.
Well, no, it was like 25 items on your wish list are on sale, and it's like, oh, come on, dude, I don't need to hear that.
Yep.
I broke down and double dipped. I bought Ys 7, which I have not started playing yet on PC, but I did end up buying it. But I also picked up Earth Defense Force 4.1: The Shadow of New Despair, which is it's
Okay.
one of the old EDF games.
Yeah.
You guys have played
Was
EDF.
it on a console previously, or is
I believe this was on a console at one point.
okay?
Maybe PS.
When are they going to make one of those EDF games for Switch?
I don't know.
Because it'd be perfect on Switch.
Well, what wouldn't be, CJ? In your narrow perspective, what wouldn't be? I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be like $15 or whatever I paid for this one.
Nope.
The Earth Defense games, man, are so much fun.
They're just silly fun.
I have so much fun with those games. They're so stupid and they're so shallow and they're so janky.
They are janky. I do wish the control and such was a little better.
But you know what, man?
They're fun.
These are the games. If you've not played an Earth Defense Force game, you are in a city. You're in a giant city, and the city is being invaded by giant insects. So you are running around, shooting. No. Well, you're not punching. You would die. You got machine guns. You got missile launchers. You got flamethrowers.
Mm-hmm.
Running around shooting, blowing up giant ants, giant and spiders. UFOs. Yeah, eventually, like UFOs, giant robots start showing up. This is what
was the company that did those really well?
Sandlot. It's Sandlot. Yeah, Sandlot is the manufacturer of this wonderful game.
Yeah,
and it's so good. It's so much fun. And if you have not played an EDF game, I highly recommend you take advantage of the Steam sale and pick this up.
Because how much was it? Probably super cheap.
It was like $15 or something.
Oh, okay.
It was not.
Well, that's not cheap.
Well, $15? It's well worth it. Well worth it.
It's pretty expensive for a Steam sale game.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm thinking more like $250.
Steam sales have not been Steam sales in a couple of years.
I mean, because all the stuff that was really cheap always ends up being the exact same stuff where you're like, oh, I bought all that 3 Steam sales ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now there is caveat. Let the buyer beware. There is, if you go to the Steam store and you look up Earth Defense Force 4.1, or if you just look up Earth Defense Force, first of all, there's a game called Earth Defense Force Insect Armageddon. And is that the
bad one that was not developed by Sandlot?
That one is not developed by Sandlot. That is developed by some other company, and it is not remotely as good as the Sandlot ones. Yeah. There is another one called Earth Defense Force 4.1 Wing Diver the Shooter, which is it is a shooter. It's a like a vertical scrolling shooter.
Okay.
Which is fine, whatever, but it's not what you want to be playing. What you want is 4.1, The Shadow of New Despair. It is so much fun, man. I love it.
I'll make sure I link to that one in the show notes.
Please do. I also, you know what? I picked up Mario Tennis Aces, but have not had a chance to play it yet.
Yeah. People are complaining.
What are they complaining
about?
Have
you heard the internet? Have you heard the internet?
I try not to listen to the internet.
It's probably for the best.
I heard that the story mode is only 3 hours long and therefore bad.
Well, I mean,
so it's just like most other games now.
Exactly. Right.
That doesn't a short play time is not necessarily a bad thing for me, as we've discussed on the show before.
I highly agree with that.
So, I don't know. I really enjoyed the demo version of it. So I'm looking forward to playing. I just, like I said, haven't had a chance to sit down with it. I did pick up the Switch version of Minecraft, which just came out this past week.
Now, when you say Switch version of Minecraft, they did release a version of Minecraft like a year ago on digital, and then
I was gonna say.
So here's the weird thing about Minecraft. So Minecraft originally by Mojang, eventually bought by Microsoft. And Minecraft, of course, ported to everything under the sun. It's on PC, it's on Mac, it's on Xbox, it's on PlayStation, it's on Wii U, it's on 3DS, it's on iOS. And apparently, and I may be completely talking right out of my A2M here, but from what I understand, just about all of those versions of Minecraft are completely different from each other. Now, not in content. Content, they're all the same game, but they're all coded completely differently. You know, this isn't like a Westworld game where they're sharing code. This is like if we want Minecraft on iOS, we have to program it from the ground up for iOS. And now we want it on PS3, so we got to program it from the ground up on PS3. So you end up with all these different Minecraft for PlayStation Vita or Minecraft for Nintendo Switch. And they're all like I said, the same content, but the under the hood they are completely different. But Microsoft has been going through and reconfiguring, redoing all the versions of Minecraft so that they're all kind of the same code for every system. So now, like, if they do an update to the PC version, they don't have to take the PS4 version and like completely write completely new code to add those same features to that version. They can just, hit a switch, because that's how simple game development is. There's just a button you press export to say export PC version to PS4. Button. Yeah.
Oh, right.
But it's the point is it's significantly easier to share code across all versions or something. That's the way I understand it. Again, someone who's actually in game development is probably fuming right now because I'm simplifying.
They rebuild it in Unity or something?
I no idea. I'm already talking out of my ass. I'm not gonna talk further out of it.
Talking out of your A2M
because I don't know exactly. But so they have a new version, and now it's all just called Minecraft. And what's nice about it is you can do the cross play now. So like, a person playing on their PC can play with someone who's playing it on their iPhone, and they can play with someone who's playing it on their Xbox One.
That's great.
And they can play with someone who's playing it on their Nintendo Switch, and they can play it with someone who's playing it on their PS. Oh,
no, not that one.
Never mind. But yeah. So I bought the Switch specific version like a year ago or whatever when it came out, and if you did buy that version, you get the new updated version for free. And what's interesting is it's not even an update to the old game. It's like a whole separate new version. So like if you go into the eShop now, you can't buy the old version of Minecraft. There's just the new, everyone version. So
if you had bought it, it's free to download.
If you had bought it, it's free to download. And it's nice because you can import all your old worlds as well.
Cool.
So like, any old worlds you made can be converted over. Any old DLC like skins or mashup packs and stuff. Like if you bought like the Adventure Time or Skyrim pack or something, those all get converted over. So my son and I have been sitting down and playing around in Minecraft together. So we've been having a lot of fun with that. So that's what I've been playing.
Cool.
And that's it.
Well, let me tell you about what I've been playing.
What's that?
I'm playing a little game I like to call Paladins on the Nintendo Switch.
Paladins?
Paladins, yes.
Tell me more, CJ.
This is a hero-based shooter for the Nintendo Switch. It's on every platform. It's on Xbox, it's on PS4, it's on PC. No crossplay between the versions, but it just came out for the Switch right before E3. They had like or actually E3 week it came out. It's a free-to-play game, but they have a Founders Pack that is $30.
I think you talked about this before.
That will unlock all of the. I think I did mention that I picked it up, but I hadn't played it because it did not unlock until E3 week.
Huh.
And so yeah, you get the Founders Pack and unlocks all the heroes. This game has a Battle Pass, which is very similar to Fortnite's whole Season Pass thing, and it also has loot boxes. It has both stuff.
Really?
Yeah. But with the loot boxes, at least with the way that it does it, it doesn't allow duplicates. So you always know that you're going to get something different. It doesn't just give you currency or anything. It always gives you something new. So that's cool. But the gameplay is very similar to an Overwatch style shooter. You have like 4 different character classes: damage, support, frontline, etc. And they have a crap ton of characters. It's like 30 plus characters you can choose from. And they're all very sort of high fantasy based. And there's an objective mode and a deathmatch mode that you can play. And in deathmatch, it's just team deathmatch, pretty standard. And objective based stuff is sort of king of the hill plus moving an objective forward, moving a payload. So, and it does some interesting things as well. Like it allows you to get on a horse and kind of run towards the battle, like from the spawn point. So if the objective is very far away, you don't have to walk at normal walking speed to the objective.
That's pretty good.
Which is a pretty nice upgrade from Overwatch. It makes you do it at regular speed. But it looks really good on the Switch. It's 60 frames a second, and Digital Foundry did a video on how well the port performs, and it's kind of a lot of fun. I have no idea what the differences between the characters are. Really, like I've picked a few of them and tried, my normal support class thing, where I try a few characters there and see who I like. I like Grok. Grok is my character. He's like a big troll guy, but he drops a healing tower and a couple other things like that. So, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I played it with Hacker Alias Wanster on Switch because you can party up with people. There's no voice comms in the game, but you can party up with people. So we were doing that. And it's just a fun little game. It is going to be free to play on the Switch, but for now you have to buy the $30 Founders Pack to get access to it. Yeah. But it's a lot of fun. So people looking for an Overwatch style thing on the Switch, since Overwatch is not on Switch, Paladins is a well, we'll see. Paladins is a really nice alternative for sure. Or if you don't want to play Fortnite on Switch, which I haven't gotten a chance to do yet. But anyway, Paladins, the funny thing is, it's by a studio called Hi-Rez Studios. They're out of Atlanta. They do Smite as well.
I've heard of that.
But they just recently released a battle royale game called Realm Royale. That is, I think, even the characters from Paladins in a battle royale game. So, I also picked up Mario Tennis Aces. And played a little bit of the story mode. It starts out pretty good. I don't know.
Good.
I will say, I got to get my head around the gameplay. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of different shots you can wield.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if I talked about this on the show after playing the demo version. But yeah, it almost seemed like a little too much to handle, like all the different types of special attacks and shots you can make.
I wasn't a big fan.
I mean, all that stuff, it seems really good.
Right.
I just it's going to take me a lot of practice to get good enough where I feel like I can really go online with it. Although I think, as I mentioned, there's like a simplistic
that kind of cuts out all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I might try that, but this seems cool. And I guess they're doing new characters that you can get access to early if you compete in some of the tournaments that they're gonna have later. And anyway,
all right,
I'm looking forward to playing more of that. And of course, I played Sea of Thieves. I mean, when do I not, right?
Of course.
I had a lot of really interesting games this week. I post screenshots and talk about Sea of Thieves on Twitter. So if you want more of that, you can get it on Twitter. But it was fun. Mike and I did the 20 chest achievement this week.
Greg's you had 20 chests in the ship?
So yeah, you have to collect 20 chests and put them on your ship, and
Oh, you need to have them like physically on your ship at once.
physically on your ship at
Wow.
once.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of
So-
Makes you
Yeah.
a target.
makes you a target.
It makes passing other ships very nerve-wracking.
I can
You
imagine.
have a lot of stuff on your boat. So and there's a screenshot that I posted. We have the 20 chests, and now we're trying to find an outpost to go and cash all this stuff in. And it's going to take the two of us, 10 trips
Right.
at least, because we had a little more than 20 on the ship. So it's
Because
going to
you're
take
greedy.
us,
Keep going.
because we're greedy. And there was one point where we sailed it towards the south, and there's a screenshot that I posted on Twitter that you can see 4 galleons, which galleons are the 2 to 4 player ships
Yeah.
in the game, and that's a lot of people to be in the area. So we couldn't. We had to keep sailing fast because, we don't want to stop
Man.
here because there are a lot of players right here. So
I only care about games that have 1 galleon in them, and that
Yeah.
game is Lunar.
oh,
So
Nice.
yeah,
Retro.
there you go.
Yep. It's good.
There you go. Thank you.
Anyway, the game continues to be fun. I'm addicted to it. Anyway, Greg, what do you got for us?
I really didn't play much of anything. I played Mission Asteroid, which again is one of those 1980 from the year 1980 Sierra Online games. Finished that for my Adventure Night stream. That I do every Monday night on my Twitch channel, Seward, easy to find. And this Monday I'll be moving on to the next game, the last game that they did in 1980, or the third of the 3 games that they did in 1980, which is Wizard and the Princess. So I'm keeping up with that. But really, I don't know. I wasn't in a video game mood this week at all. Had some time that I could have spent on games and just sort of decided to watch Netflix and stuff instead, and just sort of took the week off from games.
What'd you watch?
Been watching that Oliver Stone series about American history.
I have not seen it.
It's interesting. I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty, I think it's pretty extreme in some spots, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
That's mostly what I've been watching on there. So
There you go.
yeah, yep. Not much else. Really didn't do a lot of gaming this week. So
I went and saw that Mr. Rogers documentary.
oh, I got to see that.
I've heard it's
uh,
good. I've heard
I
it's
went
very
to
good.
Won't You Be My Neighbor is the name of it.
Yeah.
And it's really quite good.
I went and saw, like I said earlier, I went and saw Jurassic World.
Yeah.
I liked way more than I thought I would.
Interesting.
Huh.
The trailers
Did
don't
not look good.
really do it justice
Yeah.
at
Okay.
all. It's definitely in like 2 major parts, and the first part I was watching was like, okay, it's okay,
Yeah.
and then I started to really enjoy it after that. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I would recommend it. Speaking of
I-
someone who didn't really like the last one,
Right.
so
I've heard that Jeff Gersman is only in it for a very little bit.
yes,
I'm sorry, I mean Goldblum.
Jeff Goldman.
Call
yeah,
back.
Is he?
Yeah.
But I've heard
we call in comedy circles a callback. Yeah.
it's
Um,
more of like an extended cameo, if anything. Is that
Yeah.
accurate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's still cool to see him.
Okay.
We didn't.
Oh.
It wasn't like that scene in Jurassic World where the assistant gets killed. Is
No, nothing.
Like
There
like
was
an
nothing.
extended-
There was nothing like that in this.
It's
Like,
still
the-
just
the-
like
yeah,
oh,
that
uncomfortable.
bad for that poor assistant.
5 minutes of her being tortured.
Yeah, it's like, let's take this woman who's done absolutely nothing wrong and give
Not
her a
at all.
villain's death.
Not at all earned.
Exactly. They gave her a villain's death.
It was, and it's like,
I
oh my
love
god,
her.
it's
Well, then
still
it-
going.
And if I remember,
She's still dying.
I only saw Jurassic World the once when I saw it in the theater. And if I remember correctly, though, the actual villain of that movie gets killed off screen.
That's
I
right.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
So it's like this
Yeah.
poor woman who's
There's
just
a
trying to
weird choice.
help these children.
Yeah.
Then
like
did-
like I think we said back when we were first talking about this, like her greatest crime was that she looked at her cell phone too much.
yeah,
That was
Yeah.
really it. Like
Yeah.
she didn't do anything, she was a little bit unattentive, I guess, but not in a way that put anyone in danger.
Well, you know what? I would dare say that she was certainly more attentive than those children's actual mother.
Well, the
Right?
mother wasn't on the island.
Well, that's yeah.
You mean
But her
their
aunt.
aunt?
Her aunt.
Oh, was
it-
that was
you know
was that
one
was
of
that
the
her
heroes of the movie who paid zero attention to the children until
That's right, that's right. Oh yeah, because their
everything hit the
mother
fan.
was Judy Greer, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it
Yeah.
was and what's her name? Ron Howard's daughter, whose name escapes me. She was
Bryce
their
Dallas.
aunt. Yeah, Bryce Dallas. She
Bryce
was their
Dallas.
aunt.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, I
So-
mean, this is a good. I enjoyed it. It and you know, there's no weird decisions like that in this. Like the villains are pretty clear cut,
All right.
and you know, it's just sort of it was definitely a good summer blockbuster.
Okay. Okay.
One thing that we haven't talked about yet, we didn't talk about in the news, and I wanted to bring up is the flip grip for Switch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Being done by Fangamer and sort of kicked off by a friend of the show, Jeremy Parrish.
Yes.
Mhm, mhm.
He had talked about this. He teased the idea a while back on Twitter. So it's basically all it is just a grip for your Switch where you can play the thing in Tate mode,
Yes.
which is to say the long portrait
vertically.
mode, basically
Portrait mode. Yeah.
portrait mode, but still have your Joy-Cons not necessarily attached to the Switch, but all in one piece. You're playing the whole thing in one piece. You don't have to prop the thing up in portrait mode or anything like that.
Well, it's a little grip that has the
Yeah.
rails on the side for the Joy-Cons to plug into,
Mm.
and then
Not to charge, just to
No,
Right,
it's just
yeah.
just an empty shell, and
Yeah.
then the Switch itself slides in vertically
Hmm.
and is kind of snugly held into place. So
And
if
it's
you
a-
want to play,
brilliant idea.
yeah, like you know, a bunch of the old arcade games that had the vertical monitor set up, like Donkey Kong and a lot of the SNK stuff, and a lot of shooters, a lot of
Yeah,
vertical
very
scrolling
very
shooters.
excited about it. So glad to see that it went on Kickstarter. It was funded within a day.
Yeah,
But it's
Yeah.
relatively, and I think that the campaign is still going, and it's relatively cheap.
It's like $15, right?
Yeah, it's like $15 for one of them.
and
Yeah.
that's like
Um,
that's shipped, I believe. It's like 15
That's
bucks
shipped.
shipped.
Yeah, unless
Mhm.
you don't live in the U.S., obviously, then
Right.
they add to that. But you know, such is the cross we bear. But but yeah, it's really super excited, and it's good for them. I'm really happy that it's coming out because I think it's a really good idea for Peripheral, and happy for Jeremy and Fangamer that it got
Totally.
funded almost immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely
And yes,
definitely
I did
go-
back it.
go check it out. Yeah, I think it has like another like maybe 2.5 weeks or so
Yeah.
left of
Yeah.
the campaign, so there's certainly time for you to get yours in. And yeah, even just watching the video and reading the campaign, like everything's done, like all the
it's
R&D.
designed.
Yeah, it's designed. The R&D is done. They have a place that's set to manufacture them.
Mhm.
All they're doing is basically gathering the money to turn on the switch at the factory.
Mhm.
And even actually Jeremy said that because it got funded within its first day, they're even going to begin the manufacturing process like
Early.
2 weeks earlier than
Oh,
they were
great.
going to. So yeah, I mean, I think if I remember correctly, they're slated to be delivered like in November. But
Yeah, it was November. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, but now maybe it's probably, if everything pans out, hopefully people will start getting them a couple weeks earlier than expected. I did have I did back it, but I ended up withdrawing my backing of it, not based on the quality of the product or anything, but all the free money I have right now I am putting towards that fan remake of Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Jesus
So
Christ.
I really think that needs to be.
It's like my mind, the second you say anything, I'm like,
Yeah.
where is he going with this? My mouth starts to water.
So I love classic arcade games the way they were meant to be played, but I
But you
dislike,
want to see Star Wars the way it was meant to be made.
I dislike Kelly Marie Tran more than I like Donkey Kong,
right.
I guess is what it comes down. That's not true. Kelly Marie Tran is fantastic. So, but
No, but Phil, I mean,
Yeah.
every movie you've ever seen, if you didn't like it, clearly it was made wrong. If
well,
there's
of
anything
course,
you didn't like
Right.
about
of course,
it, clearly,
of course. Yeah,
It's
it's
just some
time.
liberal agenda.
It's time to put out a fan film that replaces the film I didn't like. So,
No.
man, could you imagine where were the Transformers fans all these
Yeah,
years?
really.
I know what happened to them.
We've
Amen
had
to that.
we've had 10 plus years.
Yeah.
You know what? Say what you want about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I don't care if you like it or hate it, but I'll tell you what, it's a hell of a lot better than Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen.
Transformers, anything.
Well, that is
Almost any of them. Yeah.
almost.
Okay.
I'd say
any of
any.
them.
Almost.
When I saw the first Transformers, the Bruckheimer stuff,
First of all,
That's a director,
first of all, it's Michael Bay, not
Michael
Bruckheimer.
Bay. Okay, not Bruckheimer.
Not Bruckheimer at all.
Well, but they were
It-
Michael Bay and Jerry
it-
Bruckheimer were
Nothing to do with that movie.
okay. Anyway, Michael Bay.
Yes.
Bayformers. There you go.
Yes.
So yeah, when I saw the first movie in the theater, I was in like the 4th row.
Oh, that's
Ugh.
that's a very close position to be for that.
It's a very close row to see
Yeah.
a film that was basically
Who
just all
was
metal
it?
parts being bashed together.
Who was it? Was it somebody from Ziff Davis? I seem to remember I used to go to movies with somebody who insisted on sitting in like one of the front 4 rows.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Oh,
And I wanted to say it was somebody that I went to movies with while I lived in Chicago.
It wasn't me.
I know it wasn't you, and I know
Yeah.
it wasn't CJ.
Yeah.
Was it like Mike?
Was it?
Maybe?
Was it? Yeah, Mike and Nikki or something like
Yeah,
that.
but I think
Yeah.
it was one of the crowd.
Yeah.
To the 4th or 5th row, and I mean, for some movies that's fine, but
No,
it's
no,
not.
it's not.
It is
No.
absolutely not. No.
CJ, I applaud your diplomacy. I really do.
Yeah.
You-
Yeah.
That's one of the things that makes you such a nice guy. You're like, this terrible idea maybe isn't the worst idea ever.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
No.
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. That Bumblebee movie looks like it might be kind of cute though.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. Did you see the trailer for it?
Nope.
Watch. You know what, Greg? First of all, go watch the trailer for the Bumblebee movie. Be aware that Michael Bay has nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's being directed by the guy who did the Kubo and the
Okay.
the Seven
All
Strings
right.
or whatever. Directed by that guy. And
That's something.
yeah, go watch that trailer, and you might be pleasantly surprised. It looks like it looks, and again, there's been 11 years of
Pain.
crap terrible Transformers movies being thrown at me. So if I am as jaded as they come when it comes to Transformers films.
I mean,
but-
I stopped watching them ages ago. I
Oh, really? Me
I
too.
don't think
I
I've
didn't even
seen
watch the
past
second one.
movie.
I
Yeah.
didn't watch the second one.
I've seen all of them,
Ugh.
and they are, I mean, they're all terrible. Don't get me wrong, but it's a sine wave. The sine wave never dips up into good. Don't get me wrong, but they're the second one, the Revenge of the Fallen, is still, I think, the worst. Followed very closely by the most recent one. With
They've canceled that series at this point, right?
well,
So they're not making
technically,
any more of them.
technically the Bumblebee movie is a prequel to the Bay movies,
Okay.
despite looking like having a completely different tone, but and very different kind of design sensibilities. I mean, they still have that kind of movie aesthetic, but you can, like, Bumblebee doesn't look like a crumpled up piece of tinfoil.
Right.
With some yellow
Yeah.
splotches on him. Like, it actually has kind of a cohesive robot mode now and stuff. So, but yeah, then they're rebooting the whole series. So
Good.
But yeah, watch the trailer, Greg. I think you might be
All right. I'll check it out
pleasantly
tonight.
surprised. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay.
I
You
don't
know
know
what
how
I
we got
think
on
it's time
that
for?
stupid topic. Tweets?
Yeah. Tweets.
Are you sure?
I just did I kill your segue?
A little bit. But
Tweet,
yeah,
doodly dee.
it's time for tweets.
Tweedly deedly dee. Tweet.
There you go. Hacker alias Georgie Boy says, being dads, how hard is it to find time to game? Are your wives understanding of your hobby?
Well,
and do they play with you?
Nope. Why would you ask this, CJ? Why would you just let's just rip that Band-Aid off and piss right in the wound.
What are you talking about? I didn't ask the question.
And see,
You read it.
I read it.
Now I'm gonna feel like an asshole when I say that yes, my wife is fine with it. Now I'm the bad guy, CJ. Thanks.
Well,
Good Lord, what have you done?
I don't know.
Oh boy.
I'll answer.
Okay.
You just got to make time to game.
Very.
Is that it? No. Usually I stay.
Play-Doh, you're getting a little too deep.
I stay up late and play.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. But for me, it's because of my kids. I wait till my kids are in bed and then I play.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I as we discussed earlier, I've become far more appreciative of more compact gaming experiences.
Yes.
More let's say more focused games that perhaps are not
less time commitment,
that don't necessarily go on for 80 hours. I would a nice solid 5-hour game is great. I don't need it to go on for weeks and months. I also find myself playing a lot more games with my kid though as well. So like I said, we've Finn and I have spent a good amount of time playing Minecraft together and just kind of exploring around and seeing stuff. Or I've been kind of going through the Mega Man Legacy collections, and Finn has been having a really good time watching me play and shouting out strategies and stuff like that for me to try out and things. So
little does he know you have all those games memorized. So
I know, but it's
not helping. But
it's really cute though.
Still cute.
You know what's crazy? I have at 6 years of age, I have realized that my son is way into chiptunes.
Cool.
Like he really digs. Right. Like as we're playing.
I mean, weren't you back when you were?
Well, yeah.
But that was also what you heard in every game.
Yeah.
That's true.
But I'll be playing through Mega Man, and I'll just be going through a stage. Like I'm just going through Crash Man's stage, and just halfway through the level, he'll just be, "Daddy."
To be fair, too, those are some of the best chip.
Oh yeah, for sure. To be sure.
Sure.
But he'll just be like, "Daddy, this song is really good."
Yeah.
Like he's kind of astonished.
Yeah.
That he's appreciating this music so much. And then he, like 2 days later, I'll walk in on him, just playing with some of his toys, and he'll do, and I'm just, and a single tear rolls down my chin. My boy. And we were playing the Disney Afternoon Collection.
Nice.
And he had the we were playing DuckTales. And he had the proper reaction when we got to the moon stage.
The greatest music ever.
Where he was just like, "Daddy, what is it? This music's so good." But
that's true.
Like I've been playing the Shantae. I've been playing the most recent Shantae game. It's another game that he's really digging some of the music in and stuff like that. So it's pretty great.
What about the second part? Wives' understanding of your hobby. Do they play with you?
I mean, my wife. Well,
do you play Smash Brothers?
Rub it in, CJ. There's poor Greg.
Rubbing it all right.
Poor Greg. But enough about how much we love our children. Let's talk about the wives, Greg. How's that working out for you? Jeez, CJ, you lout.
Well, I didn't say it like that.
Jeez.
Just reading the question.
My wife
does not play games, and but she's fully understanding of my hobby. Yes.
My wife is in game design. She works at a company that creates iOS games. So yeah, she plays games.
Same one over and over again, just reskinned.
She does not work. She does not work for behavior, so it's okay. But yeah, so yeah, no, she's totally down with it. She enjoys it. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yep. More tweets, huh? Let's do this one from Hacker Alias P.O. Rowe, who says, "Does Nintendo need another AAA title this year, or is Smash Brothers tennis, and the third-party titles enough to tide them over to 2019.
Pokemon, let's go.
I think they're probably fine.
Pokemon, let's go. Let's go, Eevee. Let's go, Pikachu.
Not the only two games they have. Not the only big name games coming out this year. You know what? I'm gonna guess that maybe sometime later this year, something else will happen. Maybe. I don't know.
Probably, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I dare say that there's another Nintendo title that's probably going to sell 1 or 2 copies. I don't know what it is.
Or from third parties. I mean,
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch games don't necessarily have to all be announced at E3.
No. Also true.
So.
Also true.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't think they need any more, though. I mean,
Also,
I think
you're
even if that is their lineup, they're probably fine.
You're forgetting about Octopath Traveler and Captain Toad, and
Yeah.
Did
you guys try out the Captain Toad demo?
No,
I haven't because I played the Wii U version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I downloaded just for larfs. I downloaded the Captain Toad demo. That's a fun game.
That is a really fun game. It's one of my favorite Wii U games.
You know what?
Those Captain Toad levels.
And again, talking about playing games with your kid, I was playing those with Finn, and he was having a blast again, just trying to figure out the puzzles and like how to get all the different. I forget what it is you're collecting in that game, but
like stars, right?
Is it stars? I thought the final thing you grabbed was a star. Isn't there like you get
star?
Whatever it is, he's trying to figure out all the little secrets and stuff, and he's helping me out. But there's only 4 stages in the demo, so it's you'll plow through the demo in like 5 or 10 minutes, and then he was just like, "Well, let's play more. I want to play more Captain Toad." And I was like, "Dude, not for like another month, my friend." So
all right. Well, July 13th.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right. What's that? Were you saying something?
I didn't say anything. Who, me?
Yeah.
Me?
Hacker alias RJ Boobel says, just bought a Switch and I bought Zelda and I Am Setsuna. Looking for some fun, easygoing games that I can pick up and play in little bite-sized chunks. Any suggestions? Also, thanks for all the great years of Player One Podcast.
What are some good Switch games, CJ? I guess this is
SteamWorld Dig 1 and 2.
Yeah, the SteamWorld Dig games are.
You want Wonder Boy 3.
Yeah, that's another good one.
It's a really nice little game, and it's not too long, and you can play it in very bite-sized chunks and get a lot out of it. So
Captain Toad Treasure Tractor when the Treasure
Tractor
when that comes out.
Howdy, folks! I'm Captain Toad.
Get on the Treasure Tractor. Here we go.
Get the Picross game.
Yeah, or Picross E.
Yeah,
Picross S.
Always
Picross
S.
Yeah,
Picross S. Always a good game to have because again, something you can play for 15 minutes and get a puzzle done. And
Mario Odyssey.
Mario Odyssey.
That one you can. That's bite-sized chunk.
Yeah, the objectives in each level are pretty short.
Yeah. Mario Kart, of course.
Oh
yeah, don't miss out on that. Mario Kart's
Mario
fantastic.
Kart.
If you didn't play it on Wii U, get that on Switch.
You know what? I'm going to throw Hyrule Warriors out there.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
Hyrule Warriors is fun.
You can play that in like half-hour chunks.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
that's easy.
Sonic Mania.
Oh yeah.
Wait, there's the was it Sonic Mania Plus is the updated version that's coming out pretty soon.
Yeah.
So you got that. And then of course you got some of the kind of the retro collections like the Mega Man collections and the Street Fighter collection are definitely all worth getting.
So, definitely.
The Mega Man stuff.
That's exactly what I just said.
Did you know I wasn't paying attention?
Oh, that's typical of you.
There's something on TV.
Well, you're watching racing, aren't you? I can see it reflected in your mirror. Yeah.
Let's finish it up with this one from Hacker alias Benjamin Rivers, who says, what's one major difference in your kids' summer games habits versus your own when you were kids? Do they take games while camping, traveling, etc.?
They really don't, actually.
No?
I mean, I have portable game systems, but they don't really care about them. They have iPods, but they don't. They're much more into like YouTube and things like that than playing games. And I mean, a lot of the games that they have, I think, normally require Wi-Fi. So maybe not, though. I don't know about that for sure.
Okay,
but no, they don't. Their gaming habits are very much like when they're home. You know, my son likes to play console games.
right.
It was funny today, CJ, when you said you had a power outage and then you saw me online playing Sea of Thieves when you can't get me to play ever. That was my son. That was my son playing.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
I did see that exchange on Twitter and had a laugh at it, but
yeah. And then my daughter was at the computer playing Roblox for just the end of the day. Like, you know, they had busy weekends, but then they had like an hour to kill before bed, so they both wanted to play games. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's nothing. You know, they're very much console centric.
Yeah. I mean, Finn. I mean, he just finished kindergarten, so he hasn't really been in a situation where it's like, oh, summer's off. You know, it hasn't. This is kind of the first summer where that's been an exciting new thing. But I mean, yeah, he's playing. I mean, he's got all sorts of stuff lined up for summer. He's got swim lessons.
Yes, that's what we do too.
Taekwondo, and he's got like his little day camp that he's going to be going to because, you know, Dane and I are both working and stuff. So, so I mean, I can't imagine he's going to be playing any more than he does now, which is, you know, not extensively. He'll grab my phone and play some games on there occasionally, or he'll grab the Switch and play some games on there. But I don't see him just given the number of activities and stuff, and then obviously hanging out with his little friends and going to their house and stuff. I doubt he'll be playing significantly more than usual.
Yeah, with Charlotte is similar to how Finn is. She's got activities and such, and school sent home like a worksheet packet of things like educational stuff to do.
Boo!
Which she's been working through. I know. Yeah. And she's been also playing Pokemon Ultra Sun.
Ah, good.
And or just Pokemon Sun, not Ultra Sun.
Well, she should be playing both. Get them both. Get a Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Why not?
But she has this thing where she wants to. She'll play it for a little while and then want to start over.
Oh, really?
And the Pokemon games, at least Sun, you have to do like a button. You have to like hold buttons down as it restarts, or like at the main menu.
Oh, because you have to erase your save game. Yeah.
Yeah, and they make it something you couldn't normally just press in regular. You make it hard to do.
You know what?
My daughter wants to do that all the time. She just wants to restart.
Finn went through a really big Skylanders phase. You know, like the past years. He's kind of drifted out of it, but he was super into the Skylanders games, especially the Imaginators, which was the most recent one. But he'd play through it like halfway, and then like I want to play Skylanders, so we'd set it up for him, and instead of selecting his save game, he would start, I'm going to start a new game. Yeah. And he would do the same thing where he would just start a new file and start playing through it from the beginning. And he did eventually get through and he finished the game, but he probably finished it like 2 or 3 times just playing through on different save files and stuff.
Yep.
I mean, I guess as a kid how many times did I play through Mario 3 or
good point.
The Mega Man games?
I played through Mario 3 and all the Mario games so many times,
right?
As a kid. Yeah. And then you play through it as an adult, you're like, how did this game even last me more than a few days?
I mean, and here's the thing that I just kind of thought of. I mean, back when we were kids, we kind of had that excuse of like, oh, I'm going to sit down and play through Mario 3 like once a week. Because that was the only game we had.
That was never a problem for us. I mean, our whole ritual was every weekend we go and rent a new game.
Really?
You didn't have to buy it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but like, it was one of that kind of situation where it's like, okay, it's your birthday or Christmas or something, and you get a video game, and that was the game that you got.
Yep.
For until like the next big occasion. Next big gift giving holiday or something. So you end up playing through that game over and over again. But
Or even if
yeah.
it's the first few stages like Ninja Gaiden and you
Yeah.
can't get past
Yeah.
some of those
Did that.
stages.
But our
Definitely did that.
kids clearly do not have that problem where it's like, okay, Finn, here's your Skylanders game.
Oh, that's
I
a
mean,
good point.
there are
There's Skylanders,
literally-
and then there's a bunch of apps, and then there's Roblox and Minecraft and like
Yep.
all this stuff that can be played.
So much for free.
we have literally hundreds, if not thousands, of games piled up. I mean, look behind you, CJ.
Don't look behind me, please don't.
that is a whole mess of games your
Yeah.
kid could be playing now instead of playing through the same first 2 hours of Pokemon over and over again.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
but she still wants to do it, and Finn still wants to play through the beginning couple hours of Skylanders, even though, again, countless games that we have in our collections that
Yeah.
they could be playing. But
My kids are completely different.
oh, really?
Yep. My son wants to play something new. Now I shouldn't say that. He'll get on to something. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of it's dictated by his friends, right? If all his friends are
Right.
playing Fortnite, he wants to play Fortnite.
Right.
But he's always looking to move on to the next new thing.
Oh, wow.
But my daughter is stuck on Roblox. That's
Okay.
what all she wants
Yeah.
Yeah.
is to play Roblox.
Nice.
I don't understand the draw of that game. Like I
It's a
look
social
at it
thing.
and like
She plays it with her
yeah.
friends. It's
Yeah,
all it
yeah.
is. It's a social thing.
And I have, because Finn has not expressed any interest in Roblox at all, so I know nothing about it. Is there actually a game attached to it, or is it
No,
just
it's a
kind
bunch of
no.
mods. It's just endless
just-
mods.
It's just mods, yeah. The
mods?
kids can make their own game.
Like the one that she was playing tonight
Mhm.
was a fashion show. So
Okay.
you go and you pick pieces to connect to your character to create
Okay.
an outfit, and then you have a certain amount of time to do that, and then they walk a runway. And I don't understand how the voting works, but there's a voting segment,
Okay.
and then somebody wins the fashion show, and then they just play that over and over
Huh.
and over again. And I think
Okay.
there's I think it's themed, this is the theme now. Go find pieces that do this.
Okay, yeah, you
so-
need to dress up like a
Yeah.
pirate for this
Yeah,
round, or
exactly.
or put on your prettiest outfit or something like that.
Sure.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, like I said, I have no knowledge of that game whatsoever. So if
Yeah.
game might even be too generous of a description. all I
Yeah, I think it is.
I mean, again, I know nothing about it, so
Yeah.
I'm not trying to insult it or anything, but
Well, that's good because it makes a ton of money.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
All right,
Exactly.
are we done?
Oh, you know what?
think we're
Before we go,
What's that?
I just want to remind everyone. I know we've talked about this on the show a couple weeks back, but if you like pinball, if you like virtual pinball, the Pinball Arcade, which is a great platform to play real old arcade games, they are losing a couple of their biggest licenses in a matter of days. So if you have any interest in playing any pinball tables from Bally, I believe it's Bally and Williams,
Sounds right.
which is like probably a good 80% of the pinball tables in the Pinball Arcade series, and certainly like pretty much all the good ones.
Sure.
Get in on whatever system you can. I went in and bought them all on my Steam account, so I have them all on Steam forever. But yeah, those are going away at the end of June. I don't know if it's the 29th or 30th or what, but go get those stat.
Yes, indeed.
And for anyone here in the US, Greg, this does not affect you, but Toys R Us only has one more week left. This upcoming Friday, which is Friday the June 29th, is the final day of Toys R Us here in the US. So
Sad day.
if you want to go see what remaining dregs you can snag out of that store for a discount, or if you just want to go pay your respects, now is the time, because it is going away soon.
Indeed.
So there you go.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitter, or you can go to our internet website at playeronepodcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff that Greg wrote a bunch of years back.
Old ones.
It's sort of evergreen content to our website, really. And then there are also Generation 16 episodes.
Yeah, sure. Eventually.
At some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got one of them Discords, one of them newfangled Discord things that you can find the link for that. I think it's in our show notes. Yes, it is. And it's also on our Twitter profile. And you can get on there. It's like a big old chat room where you can discuss all kinds of things, including specific games. There's a channel for racing talk. There's a Splatoon channel. There's an off-topic thing, and there's a general thing where one particular guy keeps posting pictures from Neptunia. Anyway, not important. But
maybe you can go on there and ask if anyone knows who Sushi X is.
Maybe you can, and maybe Jeff Gerstmann will come on and tell you the answer.
Get some people from IGN or maybe some old GamePro people to come in.
They'll tell you.
They'll explain who Sushi X was.
Yeah. Anyway, and then we also happen to have on our website a message board where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting playeronepodcast.edu or by heading.
Wait, what? No, that's
what? What?
That doesn't work. It's not how
Is
that works.
Oh, it's
.com.
.com.
That's the one. Yep.
Or if you are .co.jp, if you want to access
no.
Japanese language,
and that doesn't work either. No.
Okay. You could also go to the Apple podcast app. We're right in there. It's very easy.
True.
You can also head over to the App Store and pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application for a mere $1.99.
Cheap.
And hey.
Oh, there you go.
And hey, Android cell phone, telephone users. The Player One Podcast iPhone application is available for your device as well for that same $1.99.
Also cheap.
You can find that on the Amazon Android Marketplace, for us on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook. You can check out archives. You can watch archives of our show and see us live over the internet most weeks on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast. And if you've liked what you've heard, and how could you can head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. It keeps CJ swimming in flip grips.
There you go.
He needs how many switches do you have in your house?
2.
Okay, so
I've not ordered a flip grip though.
What's that?
I've not ordered one yet.
You're not a backer?
I'm not a backer. No.
You hear that,
I don't
Jeremy?
have that many games that
listen,
play in Pate mode.
Listen, I don't know if you have Donkey Kong.
I do.
Then
I do have Donkey Kong actually.
Then shut up. You're wasting your life. I don't know if Jeremy Parrish listens to the show. I'm guessing
not
probably
anymore.
doesn't. I'm guessing he probably doesn't. But I bet someone out there who knows Jeremy. Well, I mean, we know Jeremy Parrish. But
Sure.
Someone who wants to like get CJ in trouble with Jeremy Parrish. You tell Jeremy Parrish that 2/3.
Well, guess what?
2/3 of the Player One podcast
starter
supports the flip grip. 2/3.
I'm doing it. Nope.
I love
it's all the way. We're all supporting it.
I love Game Boy Works. I love Super NES Works. I love NES Works. I love Jeremy Parrish's work. I'm excited about the flip grip. CJ says he does not care.
I already backed it.
CJ said
I just backed it.
I don't believe it.
I did.
I want to see the receipts.
I'll show them to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, Patreon obviously helps keep the lights on here, keeps things working. And if you are a Patreon subscriber at the $5 or higher tier, you get access to a weekly post show where we have lots of fun gabbing about old games, making fun of old video game magazines. CJ will often give us quizzes, pitting Greg and I against each other. Sometimes our listeners will give us some great quizzes as well.
That's right.
So join in on that, won't you?
We have another great listener quiz.
Oh, do we today?
Yes.
Outstanding. So there you go. Don't waste your time, folks. Get in on it. Hey,
do it.
And if you enjoy this show, or more importantly, if you enjoy people who are way more talented than we are, then you are certainly going to want to start saving up for October when we are heading to fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada for Scoop Fest 2018. The good folks over at the aforementioned Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social, the funniest podcast on the internet.
Yes.
Maybe, probably.
Yeah, I go with that.
Yes.
Seems fair to me. They are hosting their annual Scoop Fest. We were there last year, of course. We had a blast. We are coming back this year from October 11th through the 14th. That first night is a special VIP night where we're going to go hang out at the Tournament of Kings at Excalibur. And the show proper starts on the 12th, where there's going to be a live podcast, got live comedy, we got improv. So many great people, so much fun in the City of Sin. And again, everyone's invited. We hope everyone shows up. Head over to heyscoops.com/ScoopFestVegas, where you will find you can listen to their excellent podcast. You will find early bird tickets on sale. It's going to be so much fun. If you book your hotel room at the Orleans Hotel and Casino, you can get a discount on your room by using what coupon code, CJ? So again, Scoop Fest is so much fun. I hope we see a lot of Player One fans. We love the Scoops, of course, but it'd be great to get some old school Player One listeners out there as well, just to hang out and have fun.
True,
So
that'd be fun.
join us in Vegas. CJ,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Bill.
For being you, for being just an absolute sweetheart.
Aw.
Yeah.
Shucks. Thank you.
Agree.
Yo.
Thank you for being way sweeter than CJ.
Thank you, Phil.
But CJ may not be as sweet, but he's got a little bit of that savory going on. So, and you know what? Hacker Alias, Zelda's biggest fan. You can shut up about 20XDX. I hear you.
It's coming out on Switch, Phil.
I feel bad. Zelda's biggest fan is in our YouTube channel every week yelling at me to play this game, 20XDX. It's like a Mega Man style game. I'll probably get it on Switch, okay? Don't worry. It's all cool. And then we will see you all next week.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Join us for the
Bye,
after show
everybody.
Patreons.
Bye.
Bye-bye.